As famed dungeon masters, they might be giants, once said, when they wanted to emphasize how old and accomplished a dragon was. They call me Dr. Worm. Good morning, how are you? I'm Dr. Worm. Hey, welcome to Homebrew, the show where we avoid the crushing dullness of everyday life using our two favorite forms of escapism. Alcohol, and, well, Dungeons & Dragons is harder to hold up as a concept, but Dungeons & Dragons! How is everyone? We're a little bit of a reduced cast, I suppose, today. Wes is in deepest, darkest Donegal. Lucy's feeling a little bit under the weather, so all our support, thoughts and prayers to Lucy. Or we also just figured, you know what, streamline it. Just keep the good ones. So,
yeah.
I made it. I've made it.
I mean, fairness. Who needs the others?
We realized that all the glitches were them. It was their fault.
Yes. Uh-oh. I mean, if this one doesn't go well and there's glitches, then...
It's like Mastermind. We're trying to figure out the pattern.
Yeah.
It's cute.
Hello to everyone in the sidebar. Hello to everyone watching the VODs under the table. We're drinking in Dungeons & Dragons. We're a tipsy tabletop show, so we better tell you what we're drinking. I'll kick us off. I have cracked open a can. This is from Larkin's, though you wouldn't know it looking at it because they don't make it too obvious. It's on the, in the fine details. It's called Revolver, and it has a cool, like, skeleton riding a motorcycle on fire with, the skeleton's wearing a bandolier, but the bandolier is all cans. So, life goes, Mr. Skeleton.
Can't
So
wait to
Revolver is
fight
what
that
we're
thing.
yeah.
Or when Ben decides, it's like, you guys are dicking around too much. Here's a motorcycle skeleton with beer bombs.
Launching them in, shooting them out of the air with his 6-piece revolvers. He's got dead sight or whatever, the dead eye. He's got all the stuff. Paul, what are you drinking? You're next on the overlay.
I'm drinking Rambulian again. But this time I was drinking it with ginger ale last time, and I have found that Fentiman's Curious Cola is amazing with it, because it's like just a little bit more vanilla tasting than regular Coke. And the Rambulian is also very vanilla, so it really brings out the whole kind of undertones there. I am really enjoying this. There's another version that isn't the double navy strength one, which I'm going to probably get. Probably won't last as long as this one, but because it's a lot easier to drink, I'll be honest.
I think so. For a 3-hour show live on the internet, anything is possible.
So. Yeah, and then of course I have my potion bottles and refreshed back there as well.
So. The usual. What do you do after are they down the sink, or do you just like a random Wednesday morning? You're like, I'm gonna drink my potions.
So the cranberry juice and Captain Morgan's gets drunk a lot more, but the Wicked doesn't. Like the Wicked either stays there for a very long time or gets dumped down the sink kind of thing and refreshed just in case I have to drink it. But,
just in case
Wicked has medicinal problems.
Yeah, it's in case Ben's just like, drink a mana potion, and I'm just like, oh god, I haven't changed that for a month.
Yeah, and you should really start doing that to him, because he's definitely not refreshing the Wicked every
yes.
as well.
See, I shouldn't have given it away.
Brandir has the Rod of Absorption, so he's never going to be in need of spell slots, and a mana potion would ultimately be to replenish spell sets. So he's got me bent over a barrel. He's a good player. He's a smart player, and I'm not a smart DM. So,
yeah, that's true. You don't really have mana potions in D&D, do you? Never thought about that.
Yeah, there's no here's extra magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been drinking. So. It's good.
I'm going to see if I can get myself a bottle of that, because especially the way you described it there, it sounds delicious.
Where did you buy it at, actually?
So
Shout out.
I got this from the Irish Celtic Whiskey store, I think it's called. So yeah, there is a non-navy strength version, which means that it's probably about 30%, kind of thing. This is 57. So yeah, it's just that, like, in a pint of like Coke, I would generally, for about 30, I do a double shot, but this, it only takes a single, and pretty strong. So I tried to sip it.
57.
Tried to sip it rare, like without anything, and it was just like, oh, I don't have, like, my nose isn't blocked anymore. Like I can smell everything.
My bones are clean.
Like, yeah, and but you can definitely taste the vanilla and a lot of the really good. It's actually probably one of the best Jamaican rum spices I've had, kind of thing, and I have about 6 of them right now. So.
Yeah, you know your rums, so that's high praise. Luke, moving around the overlay, what do you? I saw you were looking. There was something nice in your hand there. I caught a glimpse of it. What's that?
Well, I'm starting out with a little bit of Bacardi and Coke, and that's mainly because I'm boring. It was easy.
There's nothing wrong with a classic Bacardi.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. But then I was like, this is going to be probably the last time I'm on the show for a while. And I was like, you know what? I was like, there's a couple things that I forgot about. I was like, oh yeah, I should talk to you guys about that. So one of the things was, and I don't know if you guys ever tried it, this Kinsale mead.
It's
Yes,
lovely.
so good.
I've had the other one, the red one. In fact, I haven't.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'm not fond of the white one, but the red one is pretty good. The thing is, right, is I love mead, and you know, I want to give a shout out to the guys in Kinsale because they did a couple of really good ones. But there's also a shop on in Germany, funny enough, that it's run by an Irish woman, and she was at DCC there a few years ago, back when we could go to those things. And I bought a few meads off her, and man, they're absolutely epic. So if you like mead, I might give the lads the link for that website because that's really good for mead. Because like the only other place in Ireland that I've ever found mead is Kinsale Mead Co. and they're really good as well. So I highly recommend them. I love their bottles as well, and they have like a cork top, so it's really like.
It's really gorgeous, the mead, actually. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, but see, these are drier meads, right? Whereas the other ones are more mead, which mead should be like a heavy kind of sweet drink, whereas these are a little bit more kind of winey, if you get me.
Yeah, they are, and so because a lot of meads a mead can either be like a beer or a wine, depending on how long you leave it, I think. Actually, if you're drinking mead, if Paul just puts some salt water in his Navy strength rum, he'd be on the grog. You know, we could have a really old school.
Yeah.